The hidden risk: why a grand solar minimum could turn winter deadly in all electric states. Imagine a world where the power goes out, not for hours, but for days or even weeks in the middle of winter. Now imagine that millions of homes no longer have backup heat because new laws banned fossil fuel furnaces and boilers. That world isn't imaginary, it's already being built around us. And if the coming grand solar minimum brings the kind of brutal winters history warns us about, the results could be catastrophic. Across North America, governments are passing laws that ban fossil fuel heat in new buildings, forcing everything onto the electric grid. New York State will require all electric new buildings starting in 2026 for smaller buildings and 2029 for taller ones. New York City has its own law, Local Law 154, banning new fossil fuel hookups. Massachusetts is running a pilot in 10 towns where all new construction and major renovations must be fossil-free. In the Bay Area of California, new rules phase out gas furnaces and water heaters starting in 2027. Washington State raised energy codes in 2024, making electric heat the standard for new builds. British Columbia adopted the Zero Carbon Step Code in 2025, phasing out fossil heat in new homes. And in Quebec, installing new oil furnaces has already been banned since 2021, with replacements and repairs restricted since 2023. The direction is clear: fossil heat is being phased out. But here's the problem: winter reliability on the electric grid is already strained. A grand solar minimum is a natural climate cycle where solar activity drops and the jet stream becomes unstable. Historically, it has meant harsher winters, late frosts, and disrupted growing seasons. Normally, societies could balance risk by relying on multiple fuels: electricity, oil, gas, wood. But these new policies concentrate all heating on one system, the grid. And the North American Electric Reliability Corporation, along with DOE and regional grid operators, already warn that winter peaks are tightening. That means the grid is least reliable precisely when cold hits hardest. Let's look at what history teaches us. In Texas, 2021, a multi-day winter outage killed at least 246 people. That's about 8 to 9 deaths per million residents. In Quebec, 1998, an ice storm destroyed 900 towers and 3,000 kilometers of power lines. 1.39 million customers lost power, some for weeks. Now project those numbers forward in today's electrified cities. Here's what a GSM-style winter outage could look like under current policies. In New York State and NYC, outages could last from 2 days up to 2 weeks. The death toll estimates range from 600 to 2,000, especially in dense areas like NYC. Crops like winter wheat could see 5 to 15% losses. In Massachusetts, blackouts lasting up to 10 days could add 150 to 500 deaths. Local produce and dairy chains would be strained. Washington State would face ice and snow, causing outages lasting up to 10 days, risking 80 to 250 lives. Orchards east of the Cascades are vulnerable to freeze damage. The San Francisco Bay Area is normally mild, but a GSM dip could cause rare hard freezes. A 3 to 7 day outage could add 30 to 120 deaths. Citrus crops could lose 30 to 70%, just like the 2007 freeze. In Quebec, with oil heat banned, the province is almost entirely electric. A 1998-style storm could mean 2 to 4 weeks without power, leading to projected deaths between 200 and over 1,000. Agriculture and food logistics would be hammered. In British Columbia and Vancouver, new zero-carbon codes push electric heat. Outages of up to 12 days could cause 50 to 300 deaths, plus orchard damage and food distribution shocks. The pattern is clear: the more a region bans fossil heat, the more deadly winter outages become. It's not just about heating homes. Agriculture suffers too. In 2007, a freeze in California destroyed up to 70% of citrus crops, costing more than $1 billion. Winter wheat can lose 5 to 15% of yield during deep freezes. Livestock and orchard losses were documented in Quebec's 1998 blackout. Add fertilizer supply disruptions. Since ammonia production depends over 70% on natural gas, and you have food price spikes and shortages layered on top of cold risk. The solutions aren't mysterious. They're the same ones grid planners have begged for. Dual fuel redundancy. Keep propane, wood, or district steam available for backup heating. especially in new all-electric jurisdictions. Hardening the grid. Design power lines and towers for ice loads and stage spare parts before storms hit. Food security buffers. Store seasonal reserves and fund frost protection for vulnerable crops. Protect fertilizer continuity. Keep natural gas feedstock for ammonia production or risk food yields. Neighborhood warming centers. Independent heating hubs to save lives when homes go cold. Cold kills more people than heat every single year. And with the next grand solar minimum on the horizon, we are walking into danger with our eyes shut, concentrating survival on a fragile electric grid. This isn't about rejecting renewables or denying climate change. It's about balance, resilience, and protecting people. Because when the grid goes down in winter, lives are on the line.